Mr. John Melton. I'm so fired up and excited to have you here with us. And this event, Rockstars, Network Marketing Rockstars. We call ourselves Rockstars. And we are all doing this amazing professional network marketing. They all know you, most of them, but many of them don't. So I would like to start with you telling us a little bit about you. I know, and they already know, that you are a top, I thought you were 100 top earner, but I heard you the other day you are one of the 50 top earners in network marketing with more than 200 millions in sales in the last years and more than 600,000 customers in your company in the last year. So can you tell us a little bit more about you and your success in network marketing?
Yeah, well, first I'll start with thank you for having me on. I'm honored to be here. Really excited to share. Obviously you've been totally crushing it. You've been a rock star for years now. And I remember we met, was that in Cabo 4 years ago? So 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
2018.
So 4 years ago, we were in Cabo,
here in Mexico.
Right? You were one of many top leaders that came to that retreat that we had the pleasure of spending time with. And it's funny because Nadia and I still remember when you asked the question, you said, what is this word legit? Do you remember that?
Yes,
Nadia
I do.
kept saying, "Oh, it's legit. It's legit."
Yeah, because you were always saying legit.
Yeah, what is this word legit? And I was like, so we always like bring that up because it was such a great little moment there. And obviously, you've done like remarkable things. Like you have built something so incredible, and it's so fun, right? Impacting the profession, helping people that are where you once were, and that's really our philosophy: is helping the marketer we used to be, meaning we used to be the old school marketer, the belly to belly marketer. We were taught how to go out and do meetings and parties and presentations and physically go sit down with people knee to knee, eye to eye. And I got burnt out. I got burnt out doing PBRs, private business receptions, having to drive all over God's green earth to do presentations and pitch people on a business opportunity and tell people that they could make money from home when we were never home. We were out every night and every weekend. And I kind of lost my belief. I kind of lost my passion. I was struggling to show up every day because I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And on top of that, I felt like I had like MLM PTSD. So I felt like I couldn't look people in the eye anymore and say, you should do this. It's worth it. You should join. You should get started, because I didn't believe that what I was doing was the way I wanted to do it long term. Long term, I didn't want to have to do three-way calls. Long term, I didn't want to have to, go to someone's house and sit down with their uncle, their cousin, and two of their neighbors and try to pitch them on an opportunity that they had no interest in. They had no interest in even being there. They were only like doing the person a favor. I don't want that. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I got to figure out how to build my business from home, or I'm quitting network marketing, which is sad. It's sad how many people were probably like me and they quit and they gave up on the opportunity to build residual income, build wealth, build generational wealth, build a legacy for their family, for their children. And they gave up because they didn't want to have to chase people. So we started studying social media and learning attraction marketing and learning how to build a business online from home and how to duplicate the right activities and create a social selling system and a launch process and a DMO so that people could be successful from home. And look, we still do some offline stuff. Like I just got back from speaking at an event in Vegas. Now that wasn't with my network marketing company. That was a generic network marketing event, but we still do some in-person stuff. We still have our big annual conference, and, we're still, physically doing like team retreats and different things that we love to do. But the majority of the time, like 98% of the time, I'm building my business from this device right here, right? From my phone. And the fact that we can show people how to create conversations, create curiosity, generate leads, generate sales, build relationships. Like, how many people, Sonia, do you come across that are like, my warm market sucks, my friends and family aren't interested? Great. There are billions of people in the world that are not in your warm market, that don't know who you are, that haven't heard about your product. So you don't need to just rely on your immediate friends and family anymore. You don't need to rely on your warm market anymore. Now, it's great if your friends and family are supportive, but if you look at my business, I've been with the same company now for almost 7 years. And I would say about 99% of the people in my business right now, my customers, my team, like the people within my organization, 99% of them, I didn't know 7 years ago when I got started in this company. Now, I've been in the industry 20 years. So I've been in the industry 20 years. So think about that. And I'm 41, almost 42. So there's 20 years worth of people, but the 13 years that I spent in this profession, all those relationships, all those teams that I built, all those people I mentored, most of those people, 99% of those people that I met prior to the company I'm in right now did not know me when I joined the company that I'm a part of. That's crazy when you think about it. And that's because of social media, because there's so many people out there that are open-minded. There's so many people out there that are looking for a quality product, that are looking for an opportunity. Now, listen, unfortunately, you're going to have to sort through the duds to find the studs. I've definitely come across my fair share of duds. I've come across a lot of, negative people and people that want to tear me down or tear down, this profession. And truth be told, a lot of us probably don't realize this, but we earned the negative reputation that this profession has. It's sad but true, because we used to always build our business, Sonia, with leading with the opportunity, leading with recruiting, leading with making money, and so we earned the stigma that this profession has, unfortunately, because we showed up in a way that came across as inauthentic, as hype. I don't want to say that everybody lied to people back then, because I think some of us truly believed in what we were talking about. But I eventually got to the point where, like I mentioned, I no longer believed I could help people, because I knew how hard it was to build the business I was in. And I was like, I'm either, going to have to give up on network marketing, which, like I said, would have been sad, or I'm going to figure out a better way to do it. And thank God we figured out the ATM system, right? Ad tag message. Thank God we figured out how to create curiosity, how to promote products first, then see if people are open to the business. In fact, if you look at my business today, you mentioned some of my numbers. We've done, I think like last month we did 6.8 million as an example. So we've done millions and millions of dollars a month for years now, but 90% of our revenue comes from customer volume, so meaning amazing. Most of the revenue is coming from a customer that's buying a product that they're using daily and ordering monthly. That's how you build residual income. You don't build residual income just by recruiting recruiters to recruit recruiters, right? At the end of the day, you should have way more customers than you do distributors selling the products. And that's what we've been able to create. That was a big paradigm shift for us, because it used to always be about recruiting and making money, which, by the way, I still recruit a lot of people. I've recruited more people in the last 90 days. In the last 3 months, I've recruited more people than I have in the last 20 years. However, my business on a monthly basis, we probably bring in about 500 to 1,000 people a month, which is a lot of people joining the team, but we have over 20,000 customers, new customers, that are coming into our business every month because of the systems that we've put in place, because of our duplication process, teaching people how to build a customer base and not have to recruit to make money. So these are some of the things we figured out over the years. And I'm just so grateful for people like you, Marina Simone, Veronica Alice, like some of these people that are teaching people a better way to build their businesses. And it doesn't matter which company you're with, you should always have the mindset of wanting to have a massive customer base, because if your team is getting customers, that means they're making money, even if they aren't big time recruiters, even if they're not building a team. And I can't tell you how many people I have within my organization that are literally earning a full-time income. These are moms, these are business owners, these are college students, these are, people with a full-time job, and they're making, in some cases, 6 figures just from selling products on social media.
Just
So anyway, I'll stop talking, but
even
I just have such a passion for this. And I'm grateful that we figured out a better way to build this business. Otherwise, like I said, I wouldn't be in this profession anymore.
Yeah, and impacting so many people that are not even in your team, like us, like in this event.
Yeah, it's so
John,
cool.
Let me do a little bit recap of what you just said.
Yeah.
So John Melton has been in this profession for 20 years. That's what I understood. And in the last company, he has been 7 years. And right now, John is one or the top earner in your company or in the top
I'm
of
number
your
2.
compensation plan. Number two in your compensation plan.
I'm working on number 1 though.
You work, yeah, I know you will get that right very soon. And but for 13 years, you didn't use social media, right? You've been using your social media for the last 7 years or so.
No, I started using social media in 2006. We were on MySpace using.
Oh my God.
But listen, we didn't use it a lot until about 2013. So
like your main system, right?
Right.
Like your main
Right.
system.
Like, yeah, we didn't really start like doing videos and branding ourselves and learning attraction marketing until about 2013. We didn't come up with the ATM system until about 2016. So it definitely took time to figure out what worked and most importantly, what didn't work on social media. But at this point, I'm proud to say we don't do Zooms, 3-way calls. We're not doing home parties. We're not doing weekly meetings. None of that offline stuff. I mean, even Zooms, right? People say, well, Zooms are online. Sure. But if I have to do, like, there's this leader that I'm friends with. And the other day they posted on Facebook, they posted that they just wrapped up their 17th Zoom of the day. And look, if you're in your launch, right, you're in your first 90 days and you're doing that, okay, I guess that's fine, I guess. I didn't do that when I launched. I didn't do 17 Zooms in my first month. Now, I don't mind getting on the phone with people once in a while. I don't mind doing Zooms sometimes. Zooms are great sometimes. But if you're having to do Zooms all day long, pitching people in the business, and then you're doing that the next day, and then you're doing that the next day, that's what leads to burnout, right? That's why people don't like this type of business, because it's a lot of chasing people. It's a lot of selling and pitching, and you start to have that commission breath. You start to feel like you're trying to get people, and I don't want to have to get people. I want to provide value. I want to create curiosity. I want to, offer people the opportunity, offer people the product. But when they say, yes, I'm open, yes, I'm interested, what's the company? What's the product? Tell me more. I add them into a group. I tag them in the information, right? Whether it's the opportunity video, whether it's a before and after picture, it depends on what they're interested in. If they're interested in products, that's different than someone that's interested in making $1 million. Those are 2 very different people, right? If they're looking to make some extra money, that just wants to lose weight. So we essentially created these groups with organized guides so that we can add people into the group, tag them in the information they're interested in. And then we have most of our conversations, our follow-up conversations, our, upline meeting the prospect, those conversations. Instead of doing a 3-way call, we'll do that on Messenger. Everything for the most part is on Facebook Messenger, maybe Instagram. We can use that message box as well. What do you call that? The DM, right? But most of what we do is through Facebook Messenger. And then we even have like team chats and support chats. We do all of that on Messenger. And guess what? That's all free. That's all free 99. So that's how we build our business. That's how we expose people to our products and opportunity, using these private Facebook groups so people can get customers and build their team.
Yeah, this system is so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started doing videos, John, maybe 2015, 2016. And I was following Regita, and he was telling us, hey, do videos. So I started doing videos. Live videos were not a thing.
Yeah.
They didn't exist. So I started doing videos, but I didn't understand how to really do the whole process online. because I was making videos and I was telling people, hey, yes, I have this thing, curiosity, but the closing was still in a cafeteria here in Tampico. So it was not really like an online system. So when I went to Los Cabos, I really understood this process and I thought, oh my gosh, why I didn't think about it. This is so easy, so simple, and everybody can do this. If they are online, they can have their own group. So for this group, this system is the system to present the opportunity to present the products. You have videos in this group, Facebook group. It needs to be a private Facebook group so your team can use as well this group. That's so important. And I've learned so much of this system. So this is your system to present and to follow up using chats, whatever is your favorite. But before that, John, okay, because this is when people already ask you, hey, tell me more about your product or your opportunity. But before that, what's your favorite way to attract new leads and new prospects?
You know, it's a great question, and it really is. It's not a simple answer, only because it depends on the person. Some people have a good warm market already, or they have a good following already. So that person can probably just start posting like, OMG, I did a thing. I'm really excited. I'm launching a new program, or I'm starting something new, or I've got a big announcement, however they want to position that.
Yeah.
Right. And they go live and they talk about this new thing. They talk about why they're excited. They get personal, they get vulnerable. But then I have some people, they've been around a while. And at this point, their warm market isn't so great, or at least their initial network of people isn't interested, or they're already buying, right? They're already on the team. So they're using TikTok, they're using Reels, they're showing up with value, they're offering solutions, they're sharing their stories, they're having fun, right? If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And they're building up a new following. That's what we did. We started showing up, providing value, sharing tips and ideas, and telling our story, and trying to make an impact versus just making an income. And it was fun at first. It was scary at first. It was uncomfortable at first. It was awkward, but we did it anyway. And we just had fun with it. And still today, I love going live. I love having conversations like this. I love, getting interviewed for podcasts and going live on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. Like I love helping people. I love serving my audience. I love to share either, tips, mindset, philosophy, specific step-by-step strategy. We have our blog, our YouTube channel, our podcast. We're building a Facebook group. We have over 30,000 network marketers inside of our generic training community, right? We're trying to do our best job to elevate this industry and make it more professional, make it so that, there's a lot of network marketers that know nothing about marketing. So we're teaching people how to show up in a way that generates leads, that, you still got to promote your products. You're not going to make sales without promoting your products, but how can you do it in a way that creates curiosity, that raises curiosity versus, as Ray Higdon would say, raise resistance, right? You don't want to turn people off. However, with that being said, unfortunately, when you start learning attraction marketing, we were just speaking at the Attraction Marketing Summit, and we were talking about, when it comes to attracting people, it's like a magnet. So you're going to attract people, but that also means you are going to repel some people. So you have to be okay with that. We don't want to repel everybody, but we are going to repel some people. Some people are just not going to be interested in the products, the opportunity. They'll be like, oh, that's one of those pyramid things. Look, you can't please everybody. The one way to guarantee failure is to be a people pleaser. Don't do it. Don't subscribe to that notion. However, with that being said, like if you just start talking to people, whether it's in your Instagram and Facebook stories, whether it's Reels and TikTok, whether it's, because you got to also think about this. If you want to generate leads, like you want to have new people find you, Reels and TikTok are definitely the best ways to do that. But you also have your existing network of people that may or may not know what you're doing. Most of the people that follow you probably don't actually know what you're doing. They don't know what company you're with. They don't know what you sell unless they've been following you for years. And even in that case, some people they're not paying attention to you. So how can you get attention? Because attention is the number one currency on social media, right? Getting attention, that's how you make money. But how can you get attention? How can you get attention in a way that isn't going to come across as sleazy, salesy, or having commission breath? And that's telling your story, be relatable, lead with education or entertainment or empowerment, right? We always say the 3 E's: education, entertainment, and empowerment, right? Like inspiring people, sharing your wins, but also sharing your losses, talking about the struggle. I think the more you show up with your story and your personality, the better you're going to do on social media. But again, people get so fixated on generating leads and wanting to build their following. But then I'll be like, well, how many people follow you right now? How many people are you friends with right now? And they're like, oh, 2,600 people. And it's like, well, I think it's cool that you want to build a following. I think it's great that you want to, generate leads, but you already have 2,600 people that know you. Start with your warm market. You want to build up your network. You want to build up your following, but you should start with, talking to the people you're already connected with. Meaning, what's the point of building up a following of people if you're not going to talk to the following you already have? So you want to do both. In my opinion, you want to prospect, reaching out to people to see if they're open, and you want to learn marketing so that people come to you, whether it's cold market or warm market. I have people in my inbox every day asking me something about my business, something about my products, something about my training courses. They're asking if I do coaching every day. Imagine having people reaching out to you every day. That's the goal, I think, for most marketers, is to get to the point where people are responding to their story or reaching out to them. People are asking for information on one thing or another. But you can't sit back twiddling your thumbs waiting for that to happen either. You need to be proactive in your relationship building and in your prospecting efforts.
Yeah, and I know that you are an expert in this thing called networking, because I remember that since I met you, I've been receiving a happy birthday or belated birthday. You always do this. I don't know if it's you or you have someone that helps.
No, it's always me. Always me. That's one of the few things I don't outsource.
Happy birthday. Okay.
Yeah. One of the reasons I don't outsource it is because there's too many people that I have a relationship with, or they're leaders on my team. I can't tell my VAs all the people I know and don't know and all the people they should message and you know what I mean? So it's just either I'm doing it or it's not being done. That's one of the few things that I like to do. I like to add that personal touch because these are my friends. And these are people that are in my network. These are my leaders. These are my clients. These are people I'm associated with. So for me, I always do the birthday messages, but I do have my VAs do a ton for me. That's a whole other conversation. They'll message new followers. They'll respond to comments on my reels and TikToks. There's a ton that my VAs do, but that's one of the things that I am the one to do.
You go and you are creating relationships, very good relationships. So let's say, John, you've been telling us so many golden nuggets, and please write this tip, Rockstar. Send happy birthday messages, create relationships with your followers without this money thing in your head. Hey, maybe he's going to buy, maybe he's going to join my team. No. How do you say that? Commission bread without that.
Yeah.
But let's say, John, let's say that you have this person that really doesn't have any warm market, or that is not being a good person before, and then he or she joins our profession, and this person really wants to start generating leads every day. I know you are very strong with Facebook Reels.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have been doing also Facebook Reels, creating curiosity about your product and business.
Yeah.
What do you say exactly, like a script, when people ask you for information about your business?
Yeah.
You
So
start a conversation, or you just send a link, or just send them to your group?
I never just send someone a link. I look at my link as a precious commodity. I'm not just going to give that out to anybody. Right now, with that being said, if it's just someone looking to order products, sure, I'll just give them my link. But I still like to find out, what are your goals? How did you hear about our company? How did you come across my page? What's got you looking for something new? I'm always asking questions because I want to get the conversation going. I want to get to know them. I don't want to just make a sale. I don't want to just make a buck. I want, number one, if it's a customer, I want to have a customer for life. I want them to be satisfied with the customer experience. I want them to be not just customer service, but the customer experience. I want them to be excited about using our products every day, ordering them every month. I want them to get the results from the products. You know, that's why they're buying. They're not buying the products, right? Like, people don't buy toothpaste. They buy white teeth. That's what they want, right? They want healthy teeth. So we have to remember, people aren't really buying the product necessarily. They're buying the benefit that the products can give them. Now, with people looking to get started in the business, I know that most people are afraid to get started. I know most people are apprehensive. They don't want to get their hopes up. They don't want to spend money they don't have, or put time into something, or put their stamp of approval on something they don't believe in. So you have to build that know, like, trust. You have to get to know people and find out what they're doing currently. Have they done this before? What's got them open? But you know, if I come across people, like, you know, I'm just keeping it real. I don't need to prospect people at this point in my career. But if I come across people and, you know, we're having a conversation and they're dissatisfied, they're stressed, they don't love what they do, they're not making the money they want to, they don't have like the time with their family they would like, I'm always going to ask them if they're open to taking a look at what we're doing. You know, I ask them if they're currently monetizing their social media. You know, have they ever made money online? Have they ever been in sales or marketing? Have they ever heard of Modere, my company? Right. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everyone, you know, whether you're in, you know, doesn't matter what company you're in, doesn't matter what product you're in, you should ask people if they're open, if they're making money online, if they'd be open to looking at your company. You know, have they heard of your company? I don't have a problem, you know, one-on-one having those conversations with people. I don't have a problem, you know, asking someone if they're open, but I do have a problem with going straight for the jugular as soon as I make a connection. I personally, that turns me off when people do it. So I don't want to turn people off, where I know that if I just like was a human first, a friend first, and a marketer second, that even though that might take a little bit more time, it would be worth it, right? Even if it's just a couple of days going back and forth, you know, hey, you know, great to meet you, you know, thanks for the friend request, or, hey, I shot you a friend request because you seem like a sharp person. We're in the same, you know, real estate group, whatever, right? Whether I send them the initial message or they send me a message, it doesn't matter. You know, I might compliment them on their social media. I might compliment, you know, some of the videos I've seen them do. Because I'm typically like, if I'm going to spend my time building a relationship or connecting with someone proactively, it's typically going to be someone that's already creating content. They're already doing some type of marketing. They're already using social media. Like, I'm not going to spend much time, more than likely. I mean, unless someone is messaging me first or they're sending me a friend request or whatever, I'm probably not going to spend too much time going after people that aren't using social media, right? Like their profile picture is a picture of their dog, right? They post on social media once a year, or, you know, all they ever do is share like super political things all the time. Like, I'm not saying I won't work with someone like that, but they would have to be pursuing me. I'm not going to pursue them. I'm going to pursue people that are already using social media. They're already posting, leading with value. Maybe they're funny. Maybe they're inspiring. Maybe they, you know, are very friendly and positive. Like, who knows? Like, those are the people that I want to work with. So over time, I think you're going to learn the kind of people that are attracted to your company, whatever company you're in. You're going to learn to identify people that you would want to work with. And by the way, you're also going to learn to identify people that you wouldn't want to work with. People that come across as entitled or disrespectful or negative. I don't want to work with people like that. And neither should you. You don't need to work with everybody. Some people will say, well, my target audience is anyone with skin. No, that's not true. That's just not true. Anyone with a pulse. No, I disagree. I used to think like that. But here's what I found is that I ended up having to convince people to join, convince people to buy, convince people to work. I don't want to convince people. I don't mind encouraging people. I don't mind persuading people. I love mentoring people, but I don't want to have to drag people across the finish line. I don't want to drag anchors. I don't want to beg and convince people to get started with me. And I think this is why it's so important to learn how to market, learn how to generate leads, learn how to show up. And if someone's like, well, how do I get started on all these things, John? Well, aren't you following people on social media? What is Sonia posting? What are some of your favorite influencers posting? How do they show up on TikTok? How do they show up on Facebook and Instagram Reels? What are they posting? You don't have to copy them, but you can model what they're doing. You can get inspiration from them. You can kind of get the gist of how they are showing up with their personality, with their perspective, with their wisdom, their stories, and just take from them and make it your own, right? It's kind of like a DJ, right? Some of the best songs that Nadia listens to are not the original mix. It's a DJ. It's the what do you call that? Anyway, the version that the DJ came up with. I can't remember the word off the top of my head, right? But they put their own mix on it. They put their own twist. So same thing with your business, right? Same thing with your marketing. There's no original ideas at this point, right? I'm not going to do a video that no one's ever done before. I'm just going to do my own version of it. I'm not going to do a post that no one's ever done before. I'm just going to do my own version of it because I have my own unique voice, my own unique story. And so do all of you that are watching. Every single one of you has a unique story. You have your own purpose, your own background, your own reason for doing this. And the sooner you step into that, the sooner you step into your potential and your greatness, the sooner you put yourself out there, the sooner you start to attract people. And that's how Sonia, right? That's how you did. You started doing videos in 2015. You started providing value and then building those relationships on the back end. And that's the way it's supposed to be done.
Okay, so John, and let me add a little thing. With the time, it becomes easier to attract your tribe. At the beginning, for example, what you just said, you will start attracting people that aren't using social media, like the people with the cats in their profile pictures. But with the time, I don't think that you attract those kind of people anymore. I think you attract motivated people, you attract leaders.
Well, let me say this though. But let me say this. If I do attract someone like that, I'll work with them. I'll talk to them. If they're positive and they're cool, I'll say, listen, we need to update your profile picture. We need to make some changes. But I'm not going to proactively reach out to people like that. I'm not going to proactively contact people like that. Reactively, sure. Look, if someone's in your inbox and they're hungry, here's what you're looking for. Write this down. People with whip. What's whip? Work ethic. That's definitely important. Even if they say, hey, I can only put in 3 to 5 hours a week. Perfect. How much time do I need to put into this? How much time do you have? I got 3 hours a week. Perfect. It doesn't matter how much time they have. It matters that they're intentional with that time, right? Work ethic, hunger. Do they have the hunger? Do they have the desire? So WHIP, W-H-I-P. The I is integrity. I don't want to work with people that are shady. I don't want to work with shysters. Sounds so funny. And then if they have this one, Sonia, it's really good. Personal power. Do they have some personal power? Do they have some influence? And if they don't, that's okay. They can build it. They can build up their influence and their credibility. But if they have it, that's someone you can work with. That's someone you can run with.
John, I'm so excited for this interview. And you know what's one of the things that I feel most happy? That I'm understanding you. At the beginning, when I started following you, I was upset. It was so, oh my God. I was thinking, I don't understand him. He speaks so fast.
I do talk fast. It's true.
And now I'm able to understand you. And that's like another thing for your notes, Rockstar, that whatever you want really to do, you can accomplish it. And like one of the things that I really wanted was to be able to understand John, because I knew that he was speaking good things. And then I discovered this little thing called the extension, the Chrome extension, the speed
Oh,
extension.
nice.
So that was really amazing because I was listening to you, but in 0.50 speed.
I like
So
that.
it was so amazing. So let's do this little recap again. So you attract your leads mostly using social media, unless people have this warm market that we all have. And then whenever they are they are following you, whether they ask you, what is it that you have, or you prospect them, whatever it is, then you talk a little bit with them, start creating the relationship. But if they want to know about your business, about your opportunity, you add them to this amazing system, to your Facebook private group, and you tag them in this video. And then what happens? Because maybe they don't watch the video, maybe they didn't join
And that's most people.
The group.
That's most people. Most people don't watch the video. Most people are going to chase you down for your link, right? So I always have my follow-up book with me. I would recommend everyone has a follow-up book. And if people
Do
don't
you still use that folder with sheets?
Yeah. So we have our 90-day tracker, which has a follow-up book in the back, but we also we created a document that people can print out. They can take it to like Staples or Kinko's or one of those places, and they can actually make a follow-up, like a what do you call it? Like a binder, like the little spiral deal, right? So I always had that with me. And here's the thing. Every single person that I add into the groups, I put into that follow-up book, right? So we call it ATM, add tag message. So I add them into the group, I tag them in the video, and then the message part. So I put them in my follow-up book, so that way I'm organized. Now, some people use like Google Docs or CRM, or they have some type of online system for like adding all that's fine too, right? You want to keep track of all the people you add into the group, right? I have Project Broadcast to communicate with my customers, right? So we can send out text messages. So you want to have those systems, but at the end of the day, I follow up with someone. I say, hey, Sonia, I added you to the groups. Let me know when you're in so I can tag you in the video, or I can tag you in, the information you requested, knowing more about products, opportunity, whatever it is, right? So I tell them they have to accept the invite in order for me to tag. And they're like, okay, cool. I'm in the group. I tag them. And I say, listen, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow to see what you liked best and answer any questions. But I'm also going to introduce you to some of the other leaders on the team for two reasons. One, I want you to meet some of these other amazing people on the team because I think you'll find them really inspiring. They're incredible. But also, I want you to see the simplicity of our system. All you have to do is what I'm doing with you right now. We create curiosity, we create conversations, we ATM our face off, we add people to the groups, and then we do group chats. So that way you can earn while you learn. You don't have to be the expert. Get yourself out of the way. Don't be a fool. Use a tool. Add people to the groups, tag them the information, and then we will help answer questions and get them started.
Okay, John, can I attach to this?
Yeah.
To this conversation, the template that you use for your book?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so they are already in your group, they already watched the video, and I'm a huge fan of my Lifestyle Academy podcast. And I know that you have so many things to say about follow-up, but can you please give us like 2 or 3 tips about following up? How many times do you follow up? Do you always follow up with a direct approach? Do you use an indirect approach? How do you do that?
I definitely do both, right? So if someone's been like kind of dragging their feet, I'll follow up with them a few times. It depends if they're responding or not. So I might say, hey, what would you like the next step to be? What did you like best? I mean, there's some key questions that I ask, just about every prospect. What did you like best? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? What will be your goal getting started? Now, but again, it depends on their response, right? So if they're not responding and I send a few messages over the course of, let's say, a week, and they're not responding to anything, I'll just say, hey, listen, it seems like you're super busy right now, Bob. No worries if this isn't for you. I'll cross your name off my follow-up list for now, which I literally physically, I cross them off. But I'll say, listen, I'll cross you off my follow-up list for now. If anything changes, feel free to reach out. you know? I mean, I have no problem taking someone off my follow-up list. Now, if they are responsive, but they're still dragging their feet, not pulling the trigger, I'll say, hey, listen, it seems like you got a lot going on. And they probably told me they're busy or they got this going on, or that going on. Would you like me to cross you off my follow-up list? You can always reach out to me in a couple weeks or in a month, when the timing is better, or next year, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going anywhere, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll follow up with you. I appreciate it. It's not a big deal to take it away from people. Now, sometimes they'll say, no, don't cross me off. Like, I'm going to get signed up later today. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I just don't want to waste your time or mine. I always say that. I don't want to waste your time or mine. I don't say I don't want to waste my time, because that comes across as like just arrogant, right? But I'll say I don't want to waste your time or mine, because I'm busy. I got a lot going on. You got a lot going on. So, where you at? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10, you ready to go? 1, you want to be a customer? Where you at? Right? Just let me know. Yeah. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And I think most people, they either come across as too pushy, too desperate. They're like, you ready to join? You ready to join? You ready to join? Or they don't follow up at all because they're so afraid of being rejected, or they're just like not organized. So get organized, come across as a place of service, of, support. Like, I'm not trying to push you or get you to do something you don't want to do. But I'm a professional. I'm in sales, and I'm following up with you because I said I would, because I always do. And, I'd like to work with you, or I think you would love these products, whatever it is. Right.
Yeah, I can recommend as well to do this using voice.
Yeah. It depends. I don't mind. Like, I like using voice, obviously, quite a bit, especially when I'm in prospecting mode, especially when I'm in relationship building mode. But if I've gone back and forth with someone 3, 4, 5 times over the course of a week or 2 or 3, like, it doesn't matter at that point whether I'm using voice or not. I kind of mix it up. And I also, by the way, this is a note to write. All your rock stars could write this down. They can make note of this. I do offer to do a phone call with personal recruits. Why? Because if I'm going to personally enroll somebody, I'm going to personally bring someone to the table, I'm going to personally work with someone, I don't mind offering to do a phone call. Now, with that being said, I've had plenty of people not take me up on that phone call. I've had plenty of people that I've signed up without ever getting on a phone call, but I offer it. I offer to do a phone call because my thing is, I might do one phone call with someone and work with them for the next 5 years. I think it's worth a 15, 20-minute, 30-minute phone call, right? Yes. So, it's your call. I know a lot of people these days are like, I don't like getting on the phone with people. But to me, it's like, I don't know, if I'm going to make a decision to partner up with someone and they won't even get on the phone with me, I don't know. Right. To me, that might not be a person that I would want to work with, right? So I'm not saying you got to get on the phone with them all the time. In fact, I have a whole lot of leaders on my team that I've never been on a phone call with, but they're typically somewhere on my team. If it's a personal enrollment, most of my personal enrollments, I at least offered to do a phone call, or if they wanted to get on a phone call, I would do it. Right. It's just one of those things where, you have to kind of, come from different angles, right? You want to be creative. You want to figure out, like, what do I got to do to get this person on board? If it's someone you really want to work with and you can tell they're like on the cusp, like maybe they just need to get on a training call. Maybe they need to watch a comp plan video. Maybe they need to try the products first. Maybe they need to, get on the phone with you. You just try to come from different angles, right? To figure out what you got to do to get them on board. And hey, if they're not ready, cross them off your list, move on to someone else. I'm always filling my funnel with new people every day. I still ATM people today. I still add new people to the groups today. Like literally every day, I'm still talking to new people. I'm leading
because
by
you love
example.
to do that as well, because you love your business, and we all can feel that, John. Tell us a little bit about this thing that you have in your team called Friday follow-up Friday.
Yeah,
I love everybody's like a culture in your team.
Yeah, I love follow-up Friday because people are in a good mood on Friday and people get paid on Friday. So yeah, I love follow-up Friday. It's a great day to follow up with people. Plus, we always have a Saturday call every single week with different leaders running the call. So we'll invite our business prospects onto that call every single week.
Is that a call or a Zoom with
it's a call.
Slides?
Yeah. During the week, we have a lot of like Facebook Lives and, Zooms you can plug into and different things that are going on, trainings that are happening. Different teams do different things. But on Saturday, it's a call. It's just a conference call. It's 1 hour, 12 to 1. It's always awesome. Always
it's like
recorded
always
too.
It's always you doing the
No.
weekly meeting presentation, or how do
No.
you do that?
No, it's just a training call.
Training call. And
Yeah.
so you don't do like this Zoom presentation monthly
No,
or
but
weekly?
you could do that once a month, maybe once a week, especially when you're getting started. But it's just most of what we do is ATM. The call is ran by different people, you know. So yeah, I mean, we do so much leading with value, leading with education, leading with training, you know, and the Saturday call, even, it's not really an opportunity call per se. It's training people, and they're hearing, they're hearing different people's stories. They're getting inspired, right? But the people that are getting on are either already on the team or they're thinking about joining the team. So they've already been exposed to something. They've already gotten some information.
So amazing. You know? So John, you have already told us your attraction system, your presentation system, your follow-up system. I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
Number 1, what if one person is doing all the things? You know, she's doing all the reels every day. She's doing the prospecting every day. And I don't know, she's been for months doing all of these things. And she comes and tells you, John, I've been doing all these things for 6 months. I feel so sad because I haven't signed up anyone. I have no new clients. What would you say to this rock star?
I would ask them what their goal is. Oh, I want to make, you know, 5,000 a month or whatever it is, right? I want to make a full-time income. I want to get rich. I want to, like, okay, great. So if it took you 3 to 5 years, would you be okay with that? Most people are like, yeah, 3 to 5 years. Okay. It's like, so don't get discouraged in 6 months. It's only been 6 months. Like, it took me 7 years to create a full-time income. That's the problem with people. They're too impatient. You know, they'll work a job for 30 years that can never make them rich, but they do a business like this that has unlimited income potential, and they do it for 6 months and they get discouraged. But I also understand why, because it's sometimes tough to put time into something when you don't see the result. You don't see the fruit. You don't see the profits right out of the gate. But traditional businesses, you got to think like a business owner. Traditional businesses take 3 to 5 years to turn a profit, and 90% of them go out of business. So you have to start thinking like a traditional business owner. And the good news here is you're not going to go out of business because there's not a big investment and there's not that monthly overhead that could put you out of business like a traditional business can, right? So you got to start thinking differently. You have to work on you. Like, the reason I wasn't where I wanted to be in my business was ultimately my fault, right? Because were there people joining my company every day? Yes. Were there people buying the products every day? Yes. Were there people rank advancing all the time? Yes. Were there people making a lot of money? Yes. And I'm in the same company, got the same comp plan, got the same, you know, opportunity they do. The variable is me. So that means I have to get better. I got to work on me. If I want to grow my business and I want to grow my bank account, I got to grow myself first. So you have to be okay with struggling, and, you know, you're either growing, you're either winning, you're either succeeding, or you're learning. You're not losing. So in the early days, you're going to do a lot more learning than you do earning. But if you think long term, you think about 3 years from now, 5 years from now, look, it took me 16 years to become a millionaire. Now, at the time, right, those first 16 years, I was like, oh my gosh, this is never going to happen. I'm never going to, you know, I'm never going to make it. And then once you do, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That's how it works, right? Like, if you had a guarantee, if you knew for a fact you were going to be a millionaire in 5 years, you wouldn't quit. But that's the problem. You don't have a guarantee. So that's the challenge with a lot of people, is that they don't want to put their time and effort into something, get their hopes up if it doesn't work out. And you know what? Sometimes you're just in the wrong vehicle. Like, you can't fly to the moon in a car. It's impossible. So sometimes you got to look at your strategies and look at the vehicle you're in, and maybe you need to find a better vehicle, right? Like the company I was in. So I've been in 4 companies. My first one went out of business. My last one went out of business. So first one out of business, last one out of business. The one I'm with now, I've been with for 7 years. But this one right here, This one I was with for 7 years. Okay. And they were very anti-social media. They were so old school. So I resigned. I left that company in 2013. And it was the hardest decision I ever made. But I knew that I couldn't look people in the eye anymore, like I mentioned earlier, and tell them it was worth it, that they should join, that they should, keep going. It's worth. No, it wasn't worth it. It was such a hard business. I was never home with my family. I was exhausted. And I didn't believe anymore in the company. So it's like, why would I stay somewhere that I don't, if you don't see yourself with your company 5 years from now, then you shouldn't stay there for another 5 minutes. And I left that company and obviously we've done really well since then. So it was a big decision. It was a scary decision, but one of the best decisions I ever made, and actually the company I went to, they got shut down by the FTC. There's a company called Vima. They got shut down by the FTC. So, like I left ACN, that was the company I was with for 7 years. I went to Vima, they got shut down. And then when Vima was shut down, I was discouraged and disappointed for about 24 hours, but I ended up finding Modere. That's the company I'm with now. I've been here, almost 7 years. And, for me, that was the best decision we made was partnering up with this company that we're with now. But I wouldn't have partnered up with that company if something really bad didn't happen to me. So sometimes you have to look at those bad things, those awful things, as blessings in disguise. And sometimes our greatest disappointments are God's greatest appointments. And it was the best thing that could have happened to me. The best thing that could happen to me was my last company was shut down, and we had to start all over. And it forced us to look for something that, like I said, was congruent with what we wanted to do. Customer centric, social media duplication, products that we can market online and create curiosity. And anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But I think there's a lot of companies out there that are just anti-social media, or they're still stuck in the Stone Ages. And if they're not willing to evolve, then you might have to upgrade the vehicle. Might have to find something better.
I love your answer, John, because we can also implement these things, even if the company is not teaching this. We are leaders. We can do also our part, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is that it took me 2 years to sign up my first partner in my company. 2 years. And I know there are so many stories in network marketing, people 6 years, 11 years that are not making any money. And then suddenly, like flash, they are doing a lot of money in this profession. Okay, John, the other question that I have for you, and this is the last question. How do you work your mindset? How did you what kind of daily habits do you have? What's your routine? Do you read? What kind of books?
We actually created a resource called the Fame Formula. So remind me and I can send it to you. We have a whole resources page actually that I can give you, mylifestyleacademy.com/resources. Nadia and her team completely updated it. So we've got a bunch of different resources on there, but one of them is the Fame Formula. And Fame stands for so it's FAME. So you want to become famous in your company, right? Fame Formula. So it's basically the power hour, working your business 60 minutes a day. Now, I believe you should work your business more than 60 minutes a day when you're full-time, you're really getting after it, but most people are part-time. So we wanted them to be intentional with the 60 minutes they have and not just be like scrolling and winging it. So for 15 minutes, set a timer. For 15 minutes, follow up. You want to follow up with everybody you talk to, follow up with your customers, and just send out messages. Don't respond to people that respond to you, though. For 15 minutes, you're just following up. If someone responds to you right away, just let that sit there. It's okay. You want to just spend 15 minutes following up with as many people as possible. Next 15 minutes, you want to add tag message. You want to ATM. You want to proactively find people that you can add to your groups, right? Maybe that's from the follow-ups that you just did. Maybe that's prospecting, reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm doing something new, something I'm excited about. If you're open, I'd love to share some information with you. Here's why I'm doing it. If you're open, let me know. I'm going to add you to this group. I'm going to tag you some information, right? The next 15 minutes, set another timer. Marketing. Put up a post. record a couple reels, go live for 10 minutes and teach something, share something from the heart. And then the last 15 minutes, expand your network. That's what the E stands for. You want to expand your network, right? Go engage in some Facebook groups, go comment on some people's Facebook or Instagram posts, right? Go connect with some new followers, go connect with your current network of people that you haven't talked to in a while. Everybody has people that they're friends with that they haven't talked to in a while. You're always expanding your network, right? You know, you want to go out there and send out some friend requests, accept some friend requests, connect with some followers, connect with some people that are watching your stories, go connect with some people in some Facebook groups, like do that for 15 minutes every single day. Go engage on some posts with your existing network, right? You have people in your network right now that if they just saw your name pop up more often in their notifications, they would probably eventually join your team or buy your products, right? Because you're not just trying to pitch them and sell them, right? You're not just trying to talk to them when you have something to sell. And I think that's really important to have that power hour mentality to focus on those income producing activities every single day. Now, again, not everybody's going to do it every single day, but even if you just worked at 3 to 5 hours a week, right? Even if you just worked at 3 to 5 hours a week, you did that FAME formula, you did that power hour, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Maybe you do it Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's up to you. It's your business.
Depending on your goals.
You got to be intentional. You got to have conversations with new people often, because once you get out of phase one, which is talking to new people and helping your team talk to new people, and you start managing your team, you start managing your existing business, that's the first indicator that someone's business is about to plateau, is when they stop having new conversations with new people.
Who is your mentor right now, or who are your mentors, or what podcasts do you listen?
You know, I listen to a bunch of different things. I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I'm not a big reader and I haven't really been listening to all that much. I'm just like, I'm always engaged with my network, engaged with my team. They probably inspire me more than anything else. You know, not just the people on my team, but leaders in my upline, leaders in my sideline, leaders in other companies, right? Like I'm just so engaged in my network, you know, in my organization, seeing what's going on. So, you know, I get inspired probably mostly from my own team, just seeing what they're doing. And because I'm so focused on my team and my business, it's not that I'm not paying attention to, you know, the Ray Higdons of the world and the Eric Worreys and the Chalene Johnsons and the Gary Vaynerchuks. I mean, I do see their stuff, Tony Robbins, you know, these are all personal favorites of mine. But at the end of the day, I probably get more inspiration from my own team. I just love my team and I love seeing them win. And I love, you know, even learning from them. They still inspire me, and they do things that I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me share that with the rest of my team, or let me share that with my audience, or let me interview them, you know?
Yeah. So, Jim, thank you very much for this, for your time, for this space in your agenda. And what's like the last thing that you want to say to close this?
I mean, listen, understand where you're at being with Sonia, being inside of a program like this, and just having so much gratitude that there's things like this available. Because I know when I got started, you know, 20 years ago, you really didn't have access to experts outside of your own immediate upline. You didn't have access to people like Sonia. So don't take that for granted. Like she's offering something to you that can legitimately change your life. What is this word legit, right? She can legitimately change your life. And you're building an empire. You're building something for your children's children, like leaving a legacy. Like, be inspired by that. That will, I think, motivate you every single day. And if it doesn't, make sure you're doing the personal development. Like, I don't do as much personal development as I did in my early years, right? Because I needed it more than I do now. Like, I'm not saying I don't still need it, but nowadays, like, I'm just so self-motivated and so driven. I think it's important to get to that point. But before you're profitable and before you're making significant income, you need to learn from people that have paved the way, that are already up success mountain, and they're reaching down, trying to help you. They're trying to pull you up. They're trying to bring you with them. Don't take that for granted. Like, that is a blessing. And it's something that I needed desperately in my early years. And I don't know many people that don't need it. I don't know many people that like can successfully build a business without the positivity, the encouragement, without the insights from people that are out there, doing big things. I mean, thank God for social media. Thank God for technology and the internet, because we can access some of the best brains in the world, right? And hear their perspective and think like they think. And it really reduces the learning curve, having people like you out there sharing with people. In a lot of cases, there are those people out there, but they don't speak the same language. So the fact that you're out there, leading, that market, right? The not just in Mexico, but these different Spanish markets out there. I mean, I think that in itself is something to be commended, because, there's a lot of people out there that, let's be honest, they want to learn, they want to grow, but they don't have, the ability to learn a whole new freaking language. I mean, the truth is, I speak one language. So anybody that speaks more than one language is already ahead of me, right? So, it's really interesting that in this day and age, you can literally learn from people in different cities, states, and countries, people that, come from different cultures, speak a different language. I mean, I just think that is like the coolest thing, that you can, even if you don't have that immediate mentor, you don't have someone pouring into you, that you can access a virtual mentor. That is just the best thing about technology, is that you can find the help, the resources, and the mentorship, even if you don't have it in your immediate upline or in your company.
Thank you, John. Thank you for this opportunity. And let me speak a little bit in Spanish. Hey, Rockstar, cuando veas este video, por favor, en tu cuaderno de trabajo están las redes sociales de John Melton. Mándale un mensaje a John y dile, por favor, gracias, John. Y dile que es lo que vas a aplicar en tu negocio. Esto no nada más es de que, ay, qué bonito, qué padre. No, dile, gracias por este tip que me diste, no importa que se lo des en español, para que vaya aprendiendo. Gracias, John. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.